everyone, just before we get into today's video, I need to make a disclaimer. In this video, you are meeting Mr. A, who is one of our middles. Mr. A's internal image has a darker skin tone to the body. We are a white Australian system, and Mr. A falls into this identity. He is not a member of any ethnicity or culture that the body does not belong to. He does not claim to be part of a culture or ethnicity apart from the bodies. A little while back, we sent messages and put out an Instagram post asking systems of colour for their advice, specifically surrounding whether it is okay for Mr. A to make a video with an avatar that reflects his internal image. And all who responded said it was okay as long as we make a disclaimer. Mr. A is very self-conscious of his internal image because he has seen the discourse in the system community surrounding white systems having alters whose internal skin tone doesn't match the body's. We are open to gentle criticism about how to best word Mr. A's internal image, but we do ask that it is done respectfully and gently. Our aim is to be respectful and considerate, and we are aware that we may not get this right. We are prepared and willing to take aboard suggestions. We ask that you keep our comments section respectful and kind so that all may learn. Thank you. Hello and welcome to another video by the Rose System. I am Mr. A and today we will be doing my Meet the Alter video. Sarah has given me a list of questions to go through, so let's get into it. What is my name? My name is Mr. A, or at least that's what my name is here on the internet. Sarah has rules about whose names can be revealed and whose names she's not ready to be revealed yet. Yeah, so I'm Mr. A. I age slide between 8 and 9. Most of the time I'm in that grey zone where I could be either 8 or 9, so late 8 years old, early 9 years old. And yeah, so we don't really have a set age for me. I bounce between those two frequently. Like, it could change every 10 minutes as to which one I feel more like, and so yeah, I'm 8 or 9 years old. Do I look like my avatar? I do. This is my second time filming this video because I didn't like how my first one turned out. Yeah, I do look like my avatar. When I split off, we were overseas in another country, to the one that we live in here in Australia. So here in Australia, it's very multicultural, very diverse, many different ethnicities and cultures. I want to make it clear I'm not a part of any ethnicity or culture apart from the bodies. The body is white Australian, so our culture is Australian and our ethnicity hails from Ireland, England and Scotland originally. So, but I say that I'm Australian, the body is Australian, but when I formed, we were overseas in another country where white people were the minority, and so my original image reflected the people who were around us. Since then, my hair colour has lightened and my eye colour has changed. These were not conscious decisions on my part or in the brain. They just happened. I've tried to change my internal image to reflect more of the body's characteristics. None of these attempts have been successful. I really struggle with my internal image as it's something that I can't help. I want to be respectful of people of different nationalities and people of different cultures and ethnicities. And whilst I do not look like the body, I don't identify with anything other than the body's identity. My internal image is reflective of where we were when I was formed. It is reflective of the people that were surrounding us at that point in time. So please don't hate me. If you have better ways of wording my experience, I'm open to hearing them. But I can't help what I look like. I've tried changing it. I can't. My favorite color is green, as you can see from my jumper. I have always liked green. My favorite animal? Probably a cheetah. The first time I filmed this video, I really had no clue, but it's been a few days and so I've been able to think about it a little bit more. This second filming is going a lot better. I'm a lot more confident in speaking. When I came out of dormancy, I was mostly non-verbal, but I was able to mimic other people with a great deal of accuracy. I'm very good at mimicking. It was essential. It was an essential skill we had as a child, being able to mimic those around us. So I can mimic really well, but I don't speak too good, and so I've been working on speaking without mimicking someone. So that's why I'm a lot more confident in this filming. And it's why my answers are a lot more prepared. It's because I've already had a run at this. What is my favorite flower? That is a stupid question. You can tell this was written with a different group of people in mind. I don't care for flowers. Not my thing. It's a bit of a girly girl question. I'm not a girly girl. My favorite music? I do like jazz. We grew up in a household where jazz was frequently on. A specific specific, what are they called? Artist. The specific artist would be Denver and the Mile High Orchestra. They do jazz, they do blues. A good mixture of Christian and other genres of music. My favorite food? I don't like food. I'm not interested in. Probably garlic bread if I had to go with something. I do like a good garlic bread, but I don't have much interest in food. My hobbies. I am very much an active person. Bushwalking is a lot of fun. Just getting out, being in nature, being outside. most of the other people internally would prefer to, you know, sit inside and read a book, or if they are outside, they're reading a book outside. I prefer being outside, engaging in nature in some way, so bushwalking. Bird spotting is pretty nice. Didn't like that as a child, but enjoy it more nowadays. Yeah. My role in the system, I have a few different roles. I am a trauma holder, but my main role is in holding the gender dysphoria that Sarah experienced around the time that I formed. So, yeah, I hold the that experience for her. I have a lot of internalized sexism as a result of my trauma, got a little bit of religious trauma, but my main role is to hold the gender dysphoria, to hold the not being comfortable being in a female body. My relationship with the others in the system is pretty good. You know, it is what it is. I don't really have beef with anyone. It's just I am who I am. And they are who they are. So I get along with the others. I frequently sneak into the teenagers' house, lodge, whatever you want to call it. They've got an activities room in there. You can go rock climbing and rock hopping and various other physical activities in there. So I like sneaking in there and using their stuff. Vin and I get along pretty well, even though she's quite a bit older than me. She's 16, I'm 8, 9, so you know, almost double my age. But yeah, we have a good time. I spend most of my time in the forest. So yeah, I'm usually in an outdoorsy type environment. Oh, going back to hobbies, I was outside stuff. I like compasses and orienteering as an activity, and I was always super jealous of the boys in Boys Brigade, because they got to do all those things whilst we were in Girls Brigade, and we, you know, learnt sewing and craft. And whilst a lot of the others in our system really enjoyed that, I was always jealous of the boys. They always seemed to have a lot more fun than we did. Girls Brigade and Boys Brigade are the Christian equivalent to Girls and Boy Scouts, with a little bit more sexism and gender roles, because, you know, that particular group of Christians were backwards thinkers. Yeah. My gender. Up until recently, I didn't have words to explain my gender. I would say I'm a girl, but I'm a tomboy, and very much a tomboy. I'm not a girly girl, I'm a tomboy. Whereas Sarah and a friend of ours was able to do a little bit of research for me, and, you know, I was watching alongside as they were doing it, but, you know, they were actually the ones doing the research. And so I'm now able to say that I'm demi-bi-gender. I am both a demi-girl and a demi-boy. So in part female, in part male, I hold the gender dysphoria. I hold the desire to be male that Sarah and the others had when I formed. I am both a demigirl and a demiboy, so in part female, in part male. I use he, him pronouns. He, him pronouns because they're more comfortable, and yeah, they're just more comfortable than she, her, or they, them. Even though I am female in terms of biology, even though there's aspects of me that are female, I do prefer he, him pronouns. I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah. This reminds me of one of my earliest memories. We were at school, and we were 8, 9 years old at the time, and back then gender roles were still very prevalent. A lot of sexism was very prevalent. There's still a ton of sexism today, but it was worse back then. And there were these tests to do to test if you were a boy or test if you were a girl, and I always got 50-50. There was one test where to test if you were a boy or a girl, you had to look at your nails a certain way. And so if you had your palm facing away from you and your fingers straight up, then you were a girl. But if you had your palm facing towards you and your fingers bent so you could see your nails, you were a boy. And so, I, being me, had my palm facing me with my fingers bent. But then we had to look at our foot. And if you had your face right up against your foot, you were a boy. But if you had distance and, you were sitting properly and it was a much more relaxed and elegant look, then, you were obviously a girl. And I scored a little bit more on a girl front overall with this weird quiz that we were doing. And I was so annoyed when I got told I was a girly girl, because I'm not. I'm not a girly girl. I don't like girly things. I'm not interested in it. So yeah, pretty much just me being in between, bit of both. Yeah. Where do I live in the inner world? Well, technically my room is the middle's room. That's where my bed is, but I do spend most of my time in the forest. I'm not really needed to front nowadays. Yeah, so I spend most of my time in the forest, but my bedroom is with the other middles. What do I think about the channel? I think the channel is good. It provides a series of timestamps for when things occur. Like usually a few months after they occur. Some things like my Meet the Elder video has been quite a while in the making. It's taken a lot before I've been comfortable speaking on camera, partly because I didn't have terminologies for my gender, but also partly because of my internal image. But the channel is good as a way of recording who we are. It's a great way of sharing a little bit of God's love into the world. Yeah. So And it's a way for Sarah to look back and see how far we've come. You know, when we first started making videos, I was in dormancy when we first started making videos. The only altars Sarah was aware of was little a, little m, and mist. There are a lot more of us than just those four. And so it's really interesting seeing Sarah's knowledge progress as time has gone on. And you know, she's meeting more and more of us. We're getting better at doing life. We're getting healthier. And you can see that in the channel, which is incredible. My relationship with God is very complex. I hold religious trauma. So I do not trust easily. I do not trust people who claim they are Christian and then don't act like it. Yeah. So I love God, but I do not respect people easily. I do not respect a lot of people who claim to be Christian, because Christians, yeah, I've been hurt by Christians. Sarah has this mantra, motto type thing about how Christians are sinful, us included, and Christians will royally screw up because they are broken. But that isn't a reflection on God. And whilst I agree with that on a logical level, and while Sarah isn't dismissing the horrible things, she's acknowledging it, but it just doesn't sit as nicely with me. Christians ought to be doing better. And yes, we're sinful, and yes, we're broken, but we really should be doing better. And Sarah believes that as well, but she's a little bit more forgiving than I am. And I know I'm supposed to forgive, but I'm not ready yet. And that will come in time. So my relationship with God is complex, because whilst I love him and I love Jesus and I believe, I don't feel safe in Christian environments. I don't feel safe at church. I don't feel safe in the communities where I really should be safe. So, yeah. My favourite Bible verse or passage, I like the parable of the lamp. I don't know where it is. Sarah will put a thing somewhere. Essentially, it's you light a lamp to light the whole room. You don't hide it away under a basket. In the same way, you are light. And it goes on to talk about a city on a hill, and you can't hide the city on a hill, but it is a beacon, and in the same way we ought to be a beacon for God. And so, yeah, that call to do better and be better, the call to depend upon Jesus and be his light in the world. Yeah. And hopefully we won't screw up as much as the Christians in our life have. Yeah, so that's me. Hope you enjoyed. I don't know what to say. This recording went a lot more smoothly. I'm not fumbling over my words like I was last time. I had more answers prepared. Yeah, so I'm Mr. A. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it has helped you get to know our system a little bit better. We are grateful for you all watching our videos. It means a lot to us. Please subscribe if you are interested in our content. We do a bit of a mixture of content nowadays, but most of it surrounds being a DID system who loves Jesus. Yeah, so please know you're loved by the incredible God of the universe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.